seat wherever. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Like I said, we kind of, what we're at right now is just doing as much of cooperating everybody's story of everybody that we've already talked to, including Jason, and he did talk to us a while back already.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that you're a suspect or he's a suspect or anything like that, but to cover all our bases and say we did the most complete job possible and everything, we pretty much are making an effort to talk to everybody.
That's been a while ago already.
Yeah. So I'd like to do, if you're okay with that, we'll do a written statement, just giving us what you remember from that night. I'll type it on here as if you were typing it, and we'll look over it and make sure it's accurate and everything.
Fair enough.
And like I said, basically just we're looking to, since you were with along in the night, I don't know if you had any interaction with Nikki yourself that night, or
very little, if any.
Okay. So we'll see, you know, what you remember about that.
So obviously you just want to start from basically when we hit sardine can.
Where did you guys start that night?
We started up at the watering hole. We were at the Steel Panther concert.
We'll start with that.
Okay.
Adam, what's your middle initial?
A.
Just spell your last name for me.
Kolpack.
What's your address?
2780 West Point Road, Green Bay, 54304.
And what was your birthday?
Birthday?
Yep.
3/20 of 83.
Your phone was 265
0910.
Okay. So going back, it was a Friday night, May 20th. So we'll start with May 20th, 2016. Who were you all with, or who was in your group?
So our group, when we started the night, I left my place, went to Jason's, waited for some friends of his from Sturgeon Bay. The only one that I really knew or have known is Chad Magley.
Okay.
But those guys disappeared and went to the Oval Office because they don't get out of Sturgeon Bay very often.
Okay.
Like as soon as we got the sardine can, so they weren't even there for the interaction of that. And then Jason and I rode together to the watering hole. We were there for the entire duration of the concert. Met up with some other friends that were there. Then we parted ways, and we wanted to find a bar that Chad and those guys from Sturgeon Bay would enjoy. So if you're a sardine can, because a friend of mine is a bartender there.
Okay.
And then we got to the sardine can, and it was, I mean, those guys from Sturgeon Bay weren't there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a drink, call it. And they're like, well, we want to, pardon the candor, but we want to get some titties on our face, so we're going to go. You guys want to go with? We're like, no, we're going to stay here. And then we just hung out there. I'm just trying to think the series of events from there. I remember Nikki came up to Jason and asked, and, they had, hi, I haven't seen you in forever, blah, 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 small talk, didn't really listen, it was loud, people everywhere. I'm thinking, well, she's kind of cutie, step back and let Jason do his thing, we're both a couple of bachelors. And then she disappeared for a little bid, and when she disappeared, I'm like, attaboy, she's a little cutie. He's like, oh no, he's like, stay away from that one. He's like, I went to school with her, he's like, there's a lot of drama there. I'm like, all right, so let's forget about that. And then she comes back and she's like, you need to buy me a shot. And Jason's like, no, I'll do a shot, but I'm not going to buy you a shot. And so I kind of chuckled at that. That, like, stuck out right there. Because Jason's just like, so usually he's like me, if a attractive girl comes up, he says, let's do a shot, you buy the shot. You know, whether it's going anywhere or not, you just buy the shot.
Yeah.
And the way she projected it out, it was kind of almost like she was kind of running from something mentally, if that makes sense. That she just felt she needed a shot and she had to have it now. And they went over to the bar, I went to the bathroom. Came back from the bathroom, they had the shot lined up. I'm pretty sure she paid for her own. You know, I wasn't there for the transaction with the bartender.
Okay.
Then she put the shot glass down and she looked up and there was a group of 3 or 4 guys that had come out to the outdoor patio area there from inside the starting can. And she said, well, that's going to get me in trouble. And me and Jason was like, oh, okay, whatever. And, you know, the three guys that stuck out, I couldn't point them out. I couldn't give you, I mean, it's been so long ago and it was, but the one I do remember is kind of like mid-height, lighter hair, not blonde, but not dark brown, but probably medium build, a little bit like between you and I. And then the night progressed a little bit. She had disappeared. And then she came back through, and then she disappeared again. She went back into the bar. And then those guys came back and went up to Jason and asked if they'd seen her. And at that point in time, his bar closed, and we were out of there. And he gave me a ride home, went back to his place, and that was it.
That sounds pretty much the same as what Jason told us. So, I just told Jason's last name is
Lemen's.
Okay, that's right. So you went to his house, you rode together, were you driving, or was he?
He drove to the watering hole, his car, if I remember correctly.
And you were riding with him?
Yeah. I don't remember the exact wording, but when she did that shot, she said it down, she said, something along the lines of, that's going to get me in trouble, or I'll be in trouble for that, or something, because those guys are standing right there.
Okay. Let's go back to the watering hole. Is that where you met up with the other guys?
Oh, no, sorry, they met us at Jason's house. They came from
Okay.
Sturgeon Bay and met us at Jason's, and then they followed us.
What were their names again?
Oh, God. The one guy...
First names or whatever.
The one guy was Chad. I think Chad.
Yeah, Jason's friends?
Yeah, Jason's friends. Hold on a second here. Friends with Chad on Facebook, 'cause we were just talking fishing yesterday. Chad, I think it's Magby. Yeah, Chad. It's just Chad, Magdle. And then the other 2, I couldn't tell you. I went fishing at Sturgeon Bay yesterday morning. He was catching fish, and I wasn't catching as many, so I needed some secrets. But the other 2 guys, I think I met them at Jason's wedding years ago, but they didn't stick out. I haven't seen them since.
So you met Jason's, he drove to the
Watering
watering hole.
Yep.
And then you said you were at the watering hole for a while or not?
Yeah, the whole concert.
Okay.
Yep. I bet you we left there, oh boy, midnight? 11 o'clock, midnight, I think concert got over with. Some of that time frame. So I know there wasn't much bar time left. And that's why those guys wanted to get over to the Oval Office right away.
All 3 of them?
Yeah. Yep.
But they didn't ride with you and Jason?
Okay. A separate vehicle.
So we'll stay at the Loring Hall for the concert, between 11 and 12 when the concert ended. At that point, Chad and the other guys from Surgeon Bay left and went to the Oval Office. And Jason and you went down to the Sardine again.
Yep.
So I'm kind of recapping a little bit. So at the Sardine Can, you remember, did you know her ahead of time at all?
No.
After
just
they started talking?
Yeah, I really didn't even ask her name. No introductions are made. You know, if you look on Facebook, we have numerous friends in common, so maybe I met her along the way, but never anything that stuck out.
When did Jason start talking to her? She came up to him at the bar?
Yeah. Well, we were at the outside bar. No, she was at the bar, and he was there, and they like acknowledged each other. I don't remember he to her, her to him. I don't remember that part of the interaction. I think she approached him.
Okay.
There was a little conversation that went back and forth, and I just kind of bowed out, went to the bathroom, came back.
So you didn't pay much attention to the conversation?
No. I mean, all the conversation I heard was, how's the kids, because Jason has a daughter, it was just little small talk stuff. Because I guess they went to school together at TC or something.
So she left for a little bit, and is that when Jason kind of told you who she was?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember if that was before the shot or after the shot, but yeah, that's when he informed me, because I was giving him some shit.
Okay. Well, we get that. So she left for a little bit and then came back. That's when she said, told Jason, you need to buy me a shot.
Yeah. Because that part, that stuck out very pronounced, because just the way she pitched that, you know, usually a girl is going to come up to you and say, hey, how about we do a shot? You know, they're going to try and weasel themselves into a free shot. This was like plain, blunt, like to the point, you need to buy me a shot.
And you kind of said you got the impression
that there was something behind it, yep. That she was looking for a shot and not necessarily a shot with Jason, just for a shot. And she was pretty drunk at this point. Not like stumbling over, puking everywhere, but you can see that she was feeling it.
So just to kind of put it on paper, you got the impression that there was a reason for the shot, not just to have a shot with Jason.
Correct.
At that point, you could tell she was pretty drunk.
Yeah.
But not to the point of falling over or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, she wasn't slurring her speech heavily or anything like that. She was just, you could see in her mannerisms a little bit of sway to her.
So then after that, she left again. And then Jason, at some point, explained to you that they had gone to school together.
Yep.
Did he ever say her last name at all, or how did
he just referred to her as Nikki. because when they did the shot, like I said, that was right when those 3 or 4-ish guys walked outside. So I was there for the, I wasn't there for the transaction of money, 'cause I think I was getting a beer at that time. I think I was talking to Kendra, I might have been doing a shot with Kendra. I don't remember that part specifically. But I was back over there when the shot glasses went down. She looked up, she seen them, and she said, either that's going to get me in trouble, or I'm going to get in trouble for that. And Jason had said, for the shot, and she said, the shot with someone else, or not particularly with him, but the shot with you. Like, not that he was the cause, but just that she was doing a shot with a guy. That part sticks out.
So, they did the shot. At that point, you tell us she's pretty drunk, not to the point of falling over or slurring speech. When they did the shot, there were 3 or 4 guys that had come outside. When she saw the guy, she said something to the point of she would get in trouble. And then Jason asked why, or did you hear that?
Well, he kind of just gave her a puzzled look. He just kind of blank stare kind of thing. And she's like, oh, not because of you, but with you. Or something along that line. It was not that she was doing a shot with him specifically, but that I kind of got the impression of it because she was doing a shot with a guy.
Okay.
And at that point, I think I went back to talking with Kendra, or sometime around them parts. Then Nikki disappeared. She went back into the bar, and then it was, I don't know, it was quiet. I mean, obviously, bar time's kind of hard to judge. It was a while after that. Then that same group of guys came out and asked Jason if he'd seen her.
So she left again and went back to the inside bar?
I think that's where she went.
Okay.
She may have left. That I don't know, but she was gone.
So I just kind of added on here just that, you remember exactly when, but I talked about the shot, and at some point, Jason told me that he'd gone to school with her, and that her name was Nikki. That's correct. Okay. So after that point, you didn't see her again?
I don't think so. Not to the point that it sticks out.
But then later on, the same guys that you saw seen earlier, when they were doing the shot, came back to Jason and asked if they had seen her. else you can think of that?
No, off the top of my head. Usually I have really good situational awareness, but I'm going from a loud concert and a few beers to a few more beers and a few more shots, kind of.
Okay, I'll just look over this again. So top there just says, date and time, make sure your information's correct there. Oh, 304 probably.
304, yeah.
So, that's why I didn't do the statement. Today's date, Friday statement started last now. On 5/20/16, it was Jason Lemon's house. A couple of Jason's friends from Sturgeon Bay also met us at Jason's house. One of them was Chad Magley, is that how he thought?
Maggle, I believe it is. You love technology when it works.
Yeah. And I don't remember the other two guys' names. Jason then drove us to the watering hole for the Steel Panther concert. The other three guys drove in a separate vehicle. We're at the watering hole for the whole concert. We probably left between 11 and 12 when the concert ended. At that time, Chad and the other guys from Sturgeon Bay left and went to the watering hole. Jason and I went to the sardine can. At the sardine can, I remember Jason seeing a girl at the outside bar. I think she approached him, but they started talking. They talked for a little bit, and I wasn't paying attention to the conversation. I didn't hear them talk about Jason's kid a little bit. She left for a little bit, and then came back and told Jason that he needed to buy her a shot. I got the impression that there was a reason for the shot, not just to have a shot with Jason. At that point, I could tell she was pretty drunk, but not to the point of falling over or slurring her speech. When they did the shot, there were 3 or 4 guys that came outside. When she saw the guy, she said something to the point of that she would get in trouble. Jason looked at her and she said something to the point of because she did a shot with.
To the point of because she did a shot with him. She would get in trouble.
Yeah. Because she did a shot with him. Well, I got the impression it was because she did a shot with a guy.
Yeah, but in here that she said she would get in trouble. Because,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the next line up.
Yeah. But because she did the shot with him.
She get in trouble. Sorry, I was reading to the wrong line.
Yeah. And you got the impression that it was because she did a shot with a guy, not necessarily Jason.
Yeah.
Because she did the shot with the guy, not necessarily because it was Jason. She left again and went back inside, I think. At some point, Jason told me that he had gone to school with the girl, and her name was Nikki. After Nikki and Jason did the shot, I don't remember seeing her again. Later on, the same guys we had seen earlier when Nikki and Jason did the shot came back to Jason and asked if he had seen her.
Yeah.
That sounds good?
Yep.
Okay.
That's as good as I can remember.
We kind of want to maybe add on there something. Did Jason said something about she's got a lot of drama or whatever? Did he say anything specific, or do you know anything about?
No, he just all he basically said was that she. Cause I think they had, like, when they were in school, he said something about that they hung out one night and he realized she was just as crazy as his ex-wife, or something along that lines, or she had.
Right. Here, Jason told me, I think he was involved in a lot of drama. Jason told me that when they went to school together, they hung out once, and Jason said something to the point
that she wasn't dateable, wasn't anything with spending time trying to date or something along that lines. A-P-P-L-E maybe?
Apple's not gonna let it be a word.
She wasn't worth the time of day. I don't know, I hate to put it that way. She was gonna be a lot of work today. Like I said, I don't remember exactly. But just basically like stay away.
She wasn't worth trying to date.
Yeah, that worked.
And basically to stay away.
That's a word of warning to me.
Okay. So I just add this paragraph, so
Mhm.
just look it over again, make sure that makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. Anything else you can think of, want to add, or?
Not really.
Okay.
And then, obviously, then we left the bar, and then Jason
Okay.
drove me home and dropped me off.
Do you remember what time you left? Was it bar closed or?
Bar closed, yeah, whatever. So I went back into the bathroom one last time, and all the stools were up on the inside, I'm pretty sure, and it's just the people starting to push everybody outside right about bar closed, so they don't have to deal with drama inside.
Okay. So, left the bar closed, and Jason drove me home.
Yep.
So the bottom is, the line of the page break here, so we'll try to make it shorter. It just says, I've given the statement of my own free will, no force, threats, or promises are made to me to obtain a statement of one page. It's true and correct to the best of my knowledge. The statement has been written to me by such and law. Now I've read it. As long as you're good with that, we'll sign, you sign that side. Should work. You gotta press a little harder than you think, because that thing is kind of a soft tip. I was gonna put on there that we concluded.
The 11th or the 10th?
11th.
Yes, okay. Sure enough.
So, all I do with this is email it to myself as a PDF file, so if you're not familiar with PDF, can't change it after that.
You can, but...
Well, if you can't, I don't know how,
Yeah.
so this is about as technical as I get
Right.
here.
I work at Best Buy, so...
Okay.
Those little geeks in the back, they know all sorts of...
Well, I was just excited to get this, because before this, when we did statements like this, it's all handwritten.
I can't believe they don't have a program for it by the name of Dragon Speak, where it actually takes it verbatim.
I think we have that around, and it was, I've never tried using it, but like, years ago, I was in the drug task force, and we did that, and there, we didn't have to type our own reports, we did dictation. We had somebody typing it for us, so they tried switching that Dragon, I don't know if it was Speak or Dragonfly.
No, it's Dragon Naturally Speaking is what it's called.
Okay, but whatever it was, like, guys really struggled with it.
Really?
Like, you had to be so weird about it, like, it was so awkward.
You just have to enunciate really clearly.
Like, guys were just like, I'll just type, it's easier. So, we tried it.
Yeah.
Another thing we're doing, or trying to do with whoever we can follow up with is, through this whole case, if you've been paying attention or following it all, obviously, her boyfriend
Was arrested.
was arrested and then released, and basically we're waiting for stuff from Crime Lab to come back. One of the issues we're running into is there's so many samples that we're getting back of particular DNA stuff that we're trying to sort through everything. So another reason to do this is just to establish whoever she might have had contact with that night. And so we're also going back, and I talked to Jason the last couple of days too, and he's going to stop by in a couple hours here too. But we're just doing DNA swabs. like I said, it's not that anybody's a suspect, but it's so that we can say,
Rule out the evidence,
okay, this sample was found, we know that's this person, and we know that they were near each other or had contact, some of one way or the other. So Jason's gonna stop in, I think around 4 is what we have planned for right now, just to do the DNA sample so we can, if we find more of an unknown sample, we can say, okay, that's this person, and we know they met at the bar, did a shot, and may have had some kind of contact. Would you be willing to do a sample with us?
I suppose, yeah.
Okay. What I'll do is grab a couple cotton swabs and we do the inside of the cheek a little bit. I will have you fill out a consent form, because it's not something you have to do by any means. That's the same thing, and like I said, I don't want you to feel like you're being picked up as a suspect or anything like that. It's just we're at the point of we're trying to follow up and cover all our bases as well as we can. So let me go grab a form. I might have one here. I'm gonna grab that. I'll grab that. Okay.
All right, cool.
Are you from Green Bay area?
Originally from the Angle area.
Okay.
Yeah, cousin that's a police officer in Angle PD. That's where I get the kind of situational awareness, everything that's around you. And a bunch of family members, close friends, also military, so they ingrained it into you.
Oh yeah.
That's usually where that question where you just asked, originally from the Green Bay area, that's usually where it comes from, because Jim's been in the police area, you know, he's been, the city of Annabelle for 20 years or better. So usually you see Kolpack, they're like, you know Jim Kolpack? And that's my response, well, depends upon if you like him or not.
Yeah.
If you really know him, then unfortunately I'm related to him.
I found out, well, my dad worked for the sheriff's department too, so everybody knew his name. He retired, a long time ago already, but he retired 3 months before I started in 2003. So it was, everybody's, oh, are you related to Paul? I'm like, oh, yeah. And then he grew up in the southeast part of Brown County, and there's a lot of Lapnows down there, and I don't really know any of them, because we never lived out there. I didn't really grow up out there, so I'm sure there's some kind of relation.
Right, but, so not a very common name.
No, but every time especially down that way, people are like, oh, you know so-and-so, like, no. And I know there's actually another Rick Lapnow down there as well.
Oh, really?
And he's on, like, the Morrison Fire Department or something like that. Oh, and I think he's on the Morrison Town Board, because I used to get calls from our dispatch center, like if there's some kind of road hazard or emergency or something, they have to get permission from the town board to call in the highway shops, because the town's gonna build or whatever. So our dispatch center used to call me, hey, are you still on the Morrison Town Board? I'm like, no, you got the wrong bird off now. And what I should have said in retrospect was, I should have been like, yep, call in whoever you need. In fact, call twice as many.
Double up.
That's what I should have done, but.
They'd have made that mistake once.
Yeah, just to be a smart ass.
But yeah, my cousin Jim's not the easiest one to deal with.
Yeah.
So that's where, it's that comment of, well, depending on how well you know him, unfortunately, yes, I am related. And that actually got a chuckle once out of an officer. And he's like, well, then you really are related to him. I'm like, sure am.
How old are you?
33.
Alright, so guys, your information on top here, this is our consent search form. Your address, City of Green Bay. Do hereby voluntarily agree to search my DNA by cotton swab. Which states the above listed is owned, rented, or controlled by you, obviously. And that such permission to search property is given by me freely and voluntarily, and without threats, force, duress, or coercion of any kind. Consent to give the search lock now to me. And if you're good with that, that line there.
I assume you're on the chewing gum out.
Yeah.
So what, you're saying the stuff on TV is wrong, that you can't just grab some DNA off this chair after I get up?
Not so much. The stuff, and actually just from this case, the stuff I learned from the crime lab, it is pretty amazing what they come up with. I mean, just what they call touch DNA, that can be from casual contact and whatever else.
I can only imagine someone like her being in the bar around so many people, bumping shoulders, elbows,
So yeah, it's amazing what they can do, but we can't really do any of that here, so.
Yeah.
Alright, so left first, two of them. That should work.
I'm sure you've talked to a lot of her friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But anything that anybody ever talked to, because obviously, when it all happened, people start talking and saying things, and like everybody pointed to her boyfriend. Like that.
And
was,
the overall circumstances of what we know, and still do, but it's just a matter of the crime lab only allows us to send so much stuff, and we actually have a significant amount of information and evidence that need to be processed at the crime lab, but they only take so much at one time, because they only have so many people working and, manpower, and they have caseload from all over Wisconsin, including Madison, Milwaukee, where, they have stuff like this all the time. So it's just a matter of taking the time to get it back. So it's just been a long process, and we're going to keep plugging along until we,
as I've heard, he was a very, very volatile individual. Didn't take much to set him off.
And that's what we're getting a lot of too. So, all right. Whatever. I think I can copy this for you. Yeah. And we'll be ready to make cards as well. If anything will come up, or if you have any questions, or anything else, please feel free.
I don't know what kind of cameras they have, but obviously you probably pulled cameras from Sardine Can.
Yeah. We've been all over doing that, so we have a good collection of video footage that we've gone through and are still in the process of going through.
Yeah. Because like I said, the group of guys, like I said, 3, 4, 5 maybe, I couldn't point them out. If you had pictures of them right in front of me, I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I do remember the one that came back to ask Jason, medium build, kind of between blonde and brown hair, Caucasian, male obviously. But yeah, that's about all I can remember about him. But he was, it wasn't like he was angrily looking for her or anything?
Yeah.
Just like, hey, have you seen Nikki?
And I remember, I think Jason told something about the same thing, and if I remember correctly, that was one of the guys in the group that she went down there with.
Okay.
That was with her. So, and that wasn't the boyfriend, it was kind of like his friends.
Yep. Yep.
So that kind of would
that kind of
explain
came out in the conversation that she was gonna get in trouble.
Right, and that's why
Yep.
that thought probably came through her
Yep.
when there, because it wasn't necessarily him, but it was his buddies
Right.
that she was with, so.
Yep.
So, yeah, what you're saying, that all kind of makes sense compared to what we know about, so. All right, well, we'll get out of here again, I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm just glad today worked out, because I said I was in Iowa at the car show working, because we had
Okay.
the first year of our booth being there, so I cooked in the sun for a couple days.
What kind of booth, or do you set up like sound systems and stuff?
Yeah, I do all the car audio stuff at
Alright.
Best Buy, remote starts and all that. And so we had